Okay, today I'm going to be showing y'all a tutorial on how to make realistic eyes for those who requested it. Sorry if I do sound a little weird, just got my wisdom teeth taken out, so I'm not supposed to be talking that much, but oh well, here we go. And here's are the different types of eyes you can make. Notice how they're different shapes. You can draw whatever shape you prefer or whatever you think looks nice. So yeah, let's get started. Okay, now here are the supplies you're gonna need in order to create this. Here's my sketch pencil that I typically use, and then you're also going to need a paintbrush. But if you don't have a paintbrush, then you can just pull out a Q-tip or a cotton ball or anything that you think might blend really well. That will work just as fine. The Q-tip and the paintbrush, they're used to just blend the different shades in very well, just make it look very clean, very nice, and just very natural. I like to use my paintbrush a lot just because I think it has a nicer finish to it. This is my sketch pencil. This is just going to be used to outline the shapes. And also you're going to be needing an eraser. Here is my eraser. I know it looks a little bit weird, but it gets the job done really well, especially with the kinds of pencils that I use. Cleans everything up really nice. And here is my shading pencil. I will be using this a lot to shade in certain areas and make everything a little bit darker and just make the picture stand out more. Okay, so starting out, I like to draw my pupil and my highlight first. I like to draw the inside first just so I have an idea of how big I want my eye to actually be. Okay, next I'm going to be drawing the inner circle of the eye itself. This is one of the main parts of the eye, and if used with really good detail, it could look really realistic. Also notice how so far all I have is 3 basic circles. Those steps are really easy, so all you need is 3 basic circles in the first part. Now I'm going in and making this horizontal line at the bottom of the pupil. Doesn't have to be perfect, it's gonna get erased later, but it's just a good indicator of where the outline of the eye should start and where it should stop. Okay, now I'm going to be drawing the top outline of the eye. Whenever you're doing this, make sure the top outline does not go past the top part of the outer circle. You'll see why later. But whenever you're drawing the first half of the top outline, make sure it goes a little bit past the horizontal line. But when drawing the second half of the top outline, make sure it touches the horizontal line exactly. Okay, now I'm going to be drawing the bottom outline of the eye. Just simple. All you're doing is connecting the bottom to the top. In this case, I'm not going to make my bottom outline touch the inner circle at all. That's just how I want my eye to be. But if you want your eye to look a little bit different than mine, then you could go ahead and connect it to the circle as well. Now this is where the eraser comes in. All we're going to do is just erase the horizontal line that we had sketched earlier, and also erase the top part of the inner circle that is sticking out of the outline of the eye. This is where the shading comes in. Now we're going to go ahead and color in the pupil. Make sure you go ahead and color it in really nice and dark. It's going to be one of the darkest parts in the entire picture. And next we're going to go ahead and do the little lines that you see inside the eye. I'm not really too sure what they're called. If you know what they're called, cool for you, let me know. But whenever I look into people's eyes, I know I see these lines sometimes. So whatever I see in a real eye, I try to recreate it on the picture. Now we're going to go ahead and do the same thing on the outer edge. Just make little lines. Make sure there's some longer lines than the other. Not all the lines are supposed to be even. Looks more realistic if they're all different sizes. Now I'm going to go ahead and use my paintbrush to just go ahead and blend those shades. Blend them all together and make the transition look really nice. Make it look really natural. And then I'm going to go over with the pencil again and just go ahead and trace over some of the lines some more. You can repeat this process as many times as you want, whatever you think looks nice. Just go ahead and go over the lines multiple times if you'd like. Just whenever you think it looks good, then you can go ahead and stop the process. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and take that same pencil and just outline the inner circle of the eye to where it's nice and dark. I like doing this so you don't have to do it, but I just like doing it because it just makes everything look a lot more cleaner and just makes the inner eye pop a little more. Next, I'm going to use my paintbrush and just use any extra lead there is on the paper to create a shadow effect on the top layer of the eye for where the lashes are going to be at. Now I'm going to go ahead and create the inner corner of the eye. Not really sure on how to draw that, but I just try my best to copy what a realistic eye looks like. So I just go ahead and put a little corner in there and just shade it in and make it look nice and just do the best I can. Don't really add much detail to that part. Now I'm going to go ahead and sketch a curved line just above the entire eye itself, giving it an impression that that's the eyelid. Then I'm going to go ahead and shade in the first area of the eyelid and then make the top part just a little darker and then shade in the second half. But I always keep the middle part unshaded, and then I take my paintbrush and just blend and make it all look nice and clean, but still keeping the middle part unshaded just to make it look like more of an eyelid and just to create shadows and highlights in the eye. Time for one of my favorite parts of the entire eye is creating the eyelashes. You can make them as long as you want, short as you want, it doesn't matter, whatever you like. But just remember, when creating the eyelashes, don't just go straight up. That's going to make them look really weird and awkward. Make sure you kind of curve them a little bit as if they're coming from underneath the eyelid. Just a curve, make sure they're not just straight. And then you're going to go over it multiple times and make sure you cross over some of the eyelashes just to give it more of a realistic look and just make it stand out more and make it seem like they're actually coming out towards you. And also make sure whenever you're doing the different sides of the eyelashes, just that curve them in the direction that they normally go. Don't make all the eyelashes go in the same direction, because that would just look really strange, and eyelashes don't usually look that way. So the front part of the eye, make the eyelashes kind of curve up, and then the right side curve them to the right, and then the left part curve the eyelashes to the left. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and put a line right underneath the outline of the eye to make it look like this is where the part where people put their eyeliner on. Now time for the bottom lashes. Kind of like the same process as the top lashes, but instead of curving up, you're going to be curving down. And remember to follow the directions of which the eyelashes should be facing. Then you could go ahead and go over them again, and remember to crisscross them just to give them a little bit more value. But don't add too many eyelashes because we don't have that many lashes on our bottom. So just remember just to keep it minimum. And again, I'm going to use my paintbrush just to fill in that little white part, just to give it more shadows and just to make it look a little bit more nicer. And now time for the brows. I usually like to put a few hairs where I want the brow to start, and then a few hairs where I want the brow to finish. This one you have to do piece by piece, do individual hairs going away from the center of the face, normally how you would see your eyebrows. The whole point of drawing is just to be very detailed so things can look more realistic and make your picture look really well, even if you don't know how to draw that good. As long as you add really good detail, then you should be fine. And then just repeat the process, just keep adding hairs, and the more hairs you add, you'll see how much darker the eyebrow will get. And then towards the bottom of the brow, kind of put hairs in the opposite direction just to give it more value and just to show that's really how our eyebrows look. If you've noticed, we have hairs that go one way and then hairs that go another way, but just keep repeating the process and then I use my paintbrush just to go in and shade it, and then I just go back and keep adding hairs until I think the eyebrow looks nice. So yeah, you could go ahead and just keep repeating those steps until you're happy with the way your eyebrow looks. And there you have it. That's how you draw a realistic eye. This only took me 15 minutes to do altogether, so it might look a little weird, but I hope this video helped you a lot. And if you have any more questions, feel free to ask me, but I hope this video helped. Bye.